Hey everyone, welcome. In this video, I want to give you a little bit of an update on what I've been doing, progress made, and whatnot on two railroads. The Pelican Lake and Western, which is an HO freelance, 20 by 7 foot, and then my On30 Dinky, which is a Chicago Northwestern narrow gauge. Okay, so first off, I've got the bench work done. I have it leveled up, and foam put down. I just used liquid nail, kind of capture that, kind of hold it down. The other thing I've done is I've gone through and I kind of inventoried what I have for rail and turnouts, kind of see what I have left over. I've got a mix of Atlas 100, Code 100, Atlas Code 83. I have some micro engineering. I have some micro engineering over here. That's Code 83. I guess what I'm going to go to is I was thinking I was going to go to Code 100, basically for the whole thing, and for the main line, and then 83 in the yards. But I think what I'm going to do is just go Code 83 all the way through. I got most of it, and I got the micro engineering turnouts, and the it's not much. There's really not a whole lot of difference between the micro engineering turnouts and the Atlas flex track, both Code 83. You see the ties are about the same size and pretty close to the same spacing, so they're not too far off. So I can use this up, and if I have any place in the staging yard or someplace that track really isn't seen, I'll use up maybe the Code 100 or some of the other stuff I have. The other thing I did is I went to a train show this weekend, a small one, and I picked up some cork road bed. They were $2 a piece. Typically you see them for about $1.20 or something like that a piece. So I picked up backing. This will be a nice, that's $5. And then the signage isn't going to work, but I can change that. That'll go like that. And then also I got a Walter's machine shop industrial building kit. There's no instructions, but it was only $20. So, and the kit's all of there. I'd be more for this. And then I got the roundhouse. I got the coaling tower, so I can put that on that 2-track, and that'll fit good in the layout. Also, what I've done is I've started locating the main line, especially where it goes around the on the end down here, where it goes around the roundhouse. And I've messed around with a few different kind of locations for this roundhouse. I've kind of moved it back and around, and I've settled on this one. I think it's probably the best. The radius is a 24-inch radius on the curve. And then this is where the curve turnout, this isn't the right size. But it'll be a curved turnout, and that'll come across here, across this opening, and then down that 18-inch shelf, 18-inch wide. The other thing I've done is I've updated the layout drawing. It shows here the turnout where it comes off and across. And then what I did is when I moved the roundhouse over this way, I had the diesel shop over here, and the machine shop was behind it and behind the roundhouse. And what I did was I moved the diesel shop back up over here, and then I put the machine shop out here. I'm not 100% sure this is how it's going to go, but I'm pretty close. The other thing I did was I changed this right here. I had 2-track staging, kind of a hidden staging yard back here. But I wanted to put in an icing platform. So I added that. I took out one staging track and added that. That'll have to kind of go as I fit the track in and see where it goes. And then I added, when I ran the main line through here, I put in a siding so that it can, I can use the warehouse district in here, kind of fill that up. And, these are all still 24-inch radius all the way through. I kind of cleaned this up a little bit, moved this turn down and kind of moved it just a little bit so that it'd work. One thing I'm not real happy with is just the depot sticking here in the front. Kind of boring. I don't know. It'll work. So next step is to get the track here laid out and get the pit, turntable pit set and the roundhouse kind of locked into position. That'll be right here. That'll be my next steps. Now over here on the Dinky, which is my O scale, O standard and On30 layout, I've been working on the track work here in Woodman, cleaning all the track, making sure everything is all set up. Now I had originally done this, I had planned on doing DC for the standard gauge and DCC for the narrow gauge. But after getting it done and kind of like getting most of the track work done, I've decided to just do DC, single cab control. So what that means is I have to now go in and add blocks where I'm going to need them. I had blocks set up for the standard gauge. This was the track plan I had on this fascia, which I don't really like anymore. I think it's kind of confusing. So what I'm going to do is I'll make a wider, this is like 6 inches. So what I'll do is I'm going to have a 12-inch fascia, and then I'll do a control panel here, and then I'll have walk around turnout control, and then walk around power. So what I've done track-wise, you see I've gone in and set up a block, and then I've done put some styrene in here. Same back here, I'm just doing this one now, right here. This is going to be this is where the depot will be, right here, the narrow gauge depot, the Dinky, and then behind it is the standard gauge, or in this case it'll be a Milwaukee Road depot. So I'll have a block for the front, and then for each one, and then in the back. So I have to go through, and then I have to wire that all up. So what I'm doing is I'm going through and just kind of cleaning all the track, getting the block set, make sure the track is all in scale. Some of it I haven't got. There's some back here that I don't have tie plates in. I need to go in and finish that up, do the tie plates. And then the next thing I'll do is, right here I have a standard gauge and an On30 crossing. That goes through here. There's a turnout, and that's going to be kind of tricky because right on each side of that crossing I have a turnout, one going to the engine house, and the other one is going to go into the depot. Let me show you the crossing I got started. This is the crossing I'm building for over there on the Dinky. This is the standard gauge, code 150. And for the narrow gauge, the best thing, what I've been reading and stuff is I've never built a crossing before. So what I've been reading, and especially with this being a lighter code, I don't have code 100 on the ON30. So what I've read is that you do the code 150, you do your standard drill, and then you also do the code 150 or your larger code on the approach for the narrow gauge. And then when you have the code 100, you just match up the tops of the rails. But that's going to get kind of tricky because remember there's a turnout right here on both sides. So this is the start. There isn't Fast Tracks doesn't have a template for ON30 standard gauge 30-degree crossing, kind of a special. So what I've done is I've taken the standard O scale and then I've really just taken an ON30 crossing, 30 degree, and I just cut it up to fit on there where it's going to go. And then really the whole thing will be when I start building it, I'll have to pay attention to the center lines, make sure my center lines and base everything off of that. Get my center lines right. Well, that's going to do it for this time. I hope you come back next time when I'll have a little progress, I hope, on this crossing I'm working on. So in the meantime, take care, be good, and don't cause no trouble.